In this short video, we are going to consider how to simplify surds. So let's dive straight in with an example. Let's say we have square root of 24 and our question is asking us to simplify this surd. Now, when the question is asking us to do that, what it's asking us to do is break down this surd so that underneath the surd we have the smallest number possible that can't be square rooted, and we might end up with a few numbers on the outside. Okay, let's see how this all works out. In terms of a general process to simplify surds, what we need to do is first start by having a look at the term under the brackets, okay? And with that, we need to find two numbers that multiply to give that term. So find two numbers that multiply to give the number under the surd. And what's important is that one of these numbers must be a square number, meaning we should be able to square root it and get a whole number. So one number must be a square number. So you might like to start by making a list of all your square numbers you know. So you have 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, I can keep going. So that's a really useful place to start. After we've found that, what we're going to do is split up our surd using the two numbers that we've found, and we'll see what that looks like as well. And then we're going to do any simplification. So we're going to simplify. Okay, let's have a look at this. We've got square root 24. So with 24, we can see that in terms of numbers that multiply to give 24, we know that 6 times 4 gives us 24. We also know that we have other combinations like 12 times 4 that gives us 24. But what we want to do is choose a combination that has a square number involved. So in that case, we're going to stick with the first one because 4 is a square number and that can be broken down. So we have square root 124. Let's rewrite that using the numbers we've just come up with. So instead of root 24, we have root 6 times 4. Then let's split that up into root 6 times root 4. And then what we're going to do is simplify that down. So root 6 can't really simplify down any further, okay? And the reason for that is because if we were to think about terms that multiply to give root 6, there's not really any square terms that multiply to give it at the moment. The root 4 can simplify down though, and this emphasizes the importance of step number 1 in terms of choosing a number that must be a square. This root 4 comes down to 2 because root 4 is 2. So then what we have is root 6 times 2, which can be rewritten as 2 root 6, and that is our simplified surd. Excellent. Let's do a couple more examples. Let's say this time I have square root of 32. So let's break this down. In terms of a combination that multiplies to give 32, we can see that 16 multiplied by 2 is going to give us 32. Okay, 16 being a square number. The idea is that you want to choose the biggest square number possible. Okay, we also know that 4 times 8 gives us 32 as well, and 4 is a square number. But if we were to do this, we'd actually have to go back and simplify that 8 down because 4 times 2 gives us 8. So what we always want to do is choose the largest square number. So here we have root 32. So we're going to rewrite that as root 16 times 2. Then we'll separate them out into 16 times root 2. Then we'll simplify. Root 16 is 4. And then we're just left with root 2 there. Okay, let's keep going. Let's say we have root 27. This time, our two numbers, we have 9 multiplied by 3 to give us 27, 9 being our square number. So we have root 9 multiplied by 3, then separate, root 9 times root 3, then simplify, root 9 gives us 3, and then 3 there. So we have 3 root 3 as our answer. Okay, let's say we have something a little bit more complicated. We've only been dealing with 2-digit numbers that have been quite small. Let's say we have something like square root of 108. Okay, so In terms of the square root of 108, in terms of numbers that multiply to give that, we can see that straight away 4 is going to divide into 108. So then we'll have 4 times 27. Now, let's split that up. We have 4 multiplied by 27. Then we can separate them out, root 4 times root 27, and then we'll have 2 root 27. Now here we need to stop and ask ourselves, can this root 27 be simplified any further? And the short answer is yes, because in terms of 27, we have 9 multiplied by 3. That's the one that we just did over here. So in that case, then we'll keep going. We have 2 times root 9 times 3. Then we can split up that surd, so 2 times root 9 times root 3. And we know that root 9 is going to simplify down to 3, so we have 2 times 3 times root 3. So then our final answer will come up over here. Running out of space, we'll have 2 times 3 is going to give us 6. So then we have 6 root 3 as our final answer. So there you have it. That's how you simplify surds down. So just a general recap. We need to think of two numbers that multiply together to give the number underneath the surd, and one of those numbers must be a square number. The thing that we should focus on is choose the biggest square number possible, because what that will do, so choose the biggest square number possible, what that will do is it'll avoid us having to do what we did with this one, where we had to simplify root 27 again. So choose the biggest square number you can think of. Then what you do is you split up the surd in terms of the two numbers that you chose to multiply by, and then we simplify square rooting that square number. If you have a big number like 108, if possible, find the biggest square number that goes into it. But if you need to split it up into steps where you use a smaller square number first, and then you keep going and simplify the next big thing, then feel free to do so.